affirmations. Go. Wake up every day and say your affirmations. Go. Wake up every day and say your affirmations. Go. Wake up every day and say your affirmations. Go. Happiness and kindness is a choice. Wake up.
I'm sorry, I was looking at a video. How y'all doing this evening?
Pretty decent. Grateful.
How was y'all week?
I got through the week. I'll just say that. Yeah, I got through it. Yeah. Last week don't count.
Last week don't count.
Okay. Let me go ahead and start sharing this. Page. We are officially live. Check us out. The music you hear in the background belongs to my boy John Skywalker. This is Affirmations Tree. If you don't know anything about it, I suggest you hop on Apple Music right now and download everything. Check us out tonight. Is that too loud? Can I go ahead and start? All right.
You're good.
That people don't want to talk about, brought to you by me, God Level. I am a mother, a nurse, entrepreneur, podcast, and this is my panel. John Skywalker, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
John Skywalker here, lyricist, spoken word artist, martial artist, personal trainer, lover of life, student of psychology, and I'm a father. And yes, indeed, the music you are hearing is from my latest album, The Law of Affirmations. You should go ahead and cop that. If you don't know anything about affirmations, you should listen to that album. If you know something about affirmations, you should listen to that album. If you love hip hop, conscious, positive hip hop, you should listen to that album. What's the message? Listen to John Skywalker's album. Just type in John Skywalker on your major streaming platform device, and there I am. Salute.
Salute. King Newborn, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Peace, peace, peace. It's King Newborn. You can follow me on all social media platforms. At Newborn Everything. Sorry about that. Had a little bit tickle in my throat. Like I said, you can follow me on all social media platforms at Newborn Everything. The name is King Newborn. I just want to say, please subscribe, follow, like, share.
Absolutely.
And as always, I am of service.
Siaba, I'm thinking, oh my God, did I just mess up your whole name? Did I just mess up your whole name? Diamond, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
I say it's all good. It's all good. I am Saba Diamond, life coach, personal trainer, nutritionist, entrepreneur, owner, and founder of the Abode of Osar Institute of Personal Excellence, where you can get the best education as far as self-development, understanding yourself. You know, when you're admonished to know thyself, you can learn that from this institute also, what that actually means and what that is. And I'll give you a full roadmap. So stay tuned for more information about that. And as always, I, just like my brother King Newborn and everybody else on this panel, I am of service.
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
say.
sir.
That's what's up. Before we get started, I just want to send my condolences out to Love Sean. I think I missed that last week. Her mother did receive her wings. Yes. She is one of our faithful viewers. And my love, and I'm sure everyone agrees with me, goes out to her and her family.
Yes.
I say.
Next up, I want to say thank you to all of our new subscribers this week. I've seen the new members. I've tried to welcome each and every last one of you. I really appreciate it. Hope you find something useful by watching our podcast. And please do not hesitate to share it. Don't forget to take advantage of the free opportunity. Take advantage of the opportunity of advertising your business for free. We did have one lined up, but she said she was going to wait till after Mercury retrograde. Like Brother Diamond said, smart move. I did see Jackie down in Houston. She wants to take advantage. So hit me up. Let me know when you want to come on so you can advertise your product for free. It is no cost. It is free of charge. The only thing that we ask is that you share the podcast. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, okay, that's
That's the
win.
catch.
That's
That's the catch.
that's the catch.
What's the catch? What's the
What's the
catch?
Just share the
That is
podcast.
it.
Share the podcast on your personal page.
That's
You
all I gotta
know,
do.
put it out there. Let some, other people can see it and subscribe and follow. Let me see. John posted a lot of good questions during this week for karma because that's our topic. So yeah. Who
What
wanna
made you
go
want to
ahead?
select this one? What made you want to select karma right after gratitude?
Forgiveness? I'd have to get gratitude.
We forgive you. We forgive you. We forgive you.
Karma. It's something that people don't talk about or they don't believe in, and I believe wholeheartedly in karma. I believe that the energy that you put out, how you treat people, it comes back to you. It may not affect you, but it could affect the people around you. So yeah, I'm a firm believer in what you put out comes back to you. That being connected to forgiveness, it,
Sound like accountability all over again.
don't put
Like
me in a
I
hot
don't.
seat tonight.
No, I'm not. No,
Don't put
I
me in
won't.
a hot
I'm
seat tonight.
never is my intention to do that.
I love you though.
No.
When
I would never
I'm
do that.
not gonna lie. I don't be ready for it most of the times when you all put me, and I call it the hot seat. For me, it's tough love, but it also at the end of that conversation, it makes me level up.
Well,
It's
I
like if
want
I'm at a
to.
plateau right now and you put me in that hot seat, what you're doing is you're making me level up,
Challenge. Yes, just a
challenge that
challenge.
current thought process. So when I say I am thankful for you all,
I want to take that and elevate what God level just said for all the queens that are watching. Um, what she is currently experiencing is what happens between male and female dialogue, conversation. Uh, Men tend to challenge the information and not the vessel from which the information come from. Most of the time, women take it personal and they be in their feelings and their emotions, and that's not the case. Men do have to be logical thinkers, even if we're thinking in our lower vibration. It still has to make sense. So it has to make sense on the level of what our intention truly is.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's where the difference come in at. I just want to add to what God level was saying, because I think that's very important, and that's where we had a misunderstanding between how a man thinks and how a woman thinks when it comes to conversation. So I want to say to you, God level, is that it's never a personal attack. We're just trying to challenge what's being said, because we have to receive it not just from our perspective, but it's important that we be able to see it from your perspective so that we know how to reply. You see what I'm saying? So
Yes.
it's important. I just want to say that I don't want you to still feel like it's the hot seat because
That's
winning.
just what I
Yeah,
call it.
you winning.
That's just
Nah, you above approach on certain things. So you winning right now. I just want you
thank
to know
you.
that. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. See, and this is why you need good brothers out here like that.
Mm-hmm.
That right there, that understanding, that communication. This is why you are definitely needed. Thank you. Thank you. Who want to take the lead tonight, or do you want to go back to the questions that we posted this week in the
Yeah,
group?
we
Start off
gonna
with the
get to
questions.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, can we start with the questions?
Yeah, we
Oh,
can.
you so
John, you know
well,
he's
hold
doing
on.
that.
First,
John,
let's start with this first one right here.
okay, go right ahead. What is
What
karma? I just
what
told you.
is it?
Yeah, for
Mm.
me, that energy that you put out, it's gonna come back to you. That's as
Okay.
simple. I don't have a a long explanation. I'm just going to keep it short and sweet like I always do.
Okay.
Well, a quick Google search
Yeah.
will tell you. A quick Google
all right.
search will give you the Sanskrit definition.
Exactly.
Or the Sanskrit
Okay.
meaning. Right. No. I'm just saying. No, this isn't for
Being
you.
funny?
No, this
Being
is
funny?
for everybody. No, because
Being
it's
funny?
like, where do we
Okay.
start? Where do we start? Right.
All
So
right.
Right.
we can start with just what it means when you Google it, because anybody who's going to Google it is going to come up with the
Mhm.
meaning, right?
I
And
love
it's
this.
Sanskrit.
I love
It's
No.
Sanskrit for
And-
action.
Exactly.
There you
It's
go.
Sanskrit for action, right? So I feel like it's important for us to start with that because we need to understand this isn't a Western term. This
Yeah.
isn't a Western concept. So we borrowed this from the Eastern tradition. So when you hear
Yeah.
the word Sanskrit, you gotta give respect to where it came from.
Facts.
Okay. And we also, as Westerners, we need to humble ourselves and recognize that there are words in the English language that don't exist in other cultures, and in other cultures they got words, or we'll say words and concepts that the English language cannot capture nor can understand. We don't have a way to put words into it, but they have an inherent understanding of it, right? So we borrowed this from them, just like a lot of things. But we borrowed. I'm saying borrowing. I'm saying borrowing. I'm gonna say I'm gonna be lenient and say we borrowed.
Ooh.
Okay. I can think of a word.
Yeah, that's one heck of a word, right? Borrow.
Yeah, it's got
Just
5
throw it out
letters.
there real quick. Brother, just throw it out there.
Nah, I ain't gonna do that one.
Stolen.
How many people we got watching? 2? Oh no, we gotta get up to 100,000. I'll talk reckless on this.
Well,
Shoot.
Okay, go ahead. I said it already for you, so you know.
Yeah. So Sanskrit
Yeah.
for act.
Yeah, we already edited it. It's all good.
well, I mean, but you have to give it. That's only part of it. It's not
Right.
just. And I'm speaking because I used to delve in the Hindu tradition.
Okay. Right.
You know,
Okay.
yeah. So that's part of it. You know,
Yes.
that's a big part of it. Action, but it's also an accumulation.
Mhm.
It's about the accumulation of actions from the many lifetimes. But what karma is,
Yeah, dig into
what
it.
what karma is ultimately tied to is your purpose. And what we talking now, there's a divine purpose. We ain't talking about the way that people chalk purpose up into coming into life. You know, they think, well, my purpose is to be a teacher. My purpose is to be a singer. I'm supposed to be. That's not purpose.
No.
You know, that's not purpose. So we're talking about what it is that you actually come here to learn. You know, remember those 3 questions I told you a long time ago? Who are you? Why are you here? And what must you learn and master,
Yeah.
you know, in order to honor the reason why you came here?
Right.
So that's what karma chalks up to, those things. And so that purpose behind it is what karma is. So this is why you keep encountering things. And this is whatever you have learned in all these past lives, whatever you have learned, then today is gonna like in this life is gonna determine whatever you have not learned is gonna come to fruition in this one.
Mhm.
Some more of that. So that's what karma is, and it is based on your actions in this one. So if you're still doing mischievous stuff,
Ooh,
that-
I was out, man.
what that's
Yeah.
telling the universe is that you haven't learned, and so
Yeah.
it has to come back into you until you learn it, until you transcend that
It's going to keep
behavioral
gonna
mindset.
keep repeating that cycle until
Be
you
careful, God
learn.
level.
I'm sorry. I'm going to just put it out there.
No. I'm saying I want you to pay attention to what you saying.
Okay, you're going to keep repeating that cycle until you
Mhm.
learn the lesson.
Until you learn the lesson. And
You learn the lesson.
mhm.
Now, hold on. My brother has also taught me this. Because he think I don't be listening to him.
Yeah.
I don't be listening to him. Knowledge is nothing without application.
Ooh, watch out now. Watch out now.
I be listening to you. I really do. You should feel good about that. Like, she
Hey,
back to me.
I do feel good. That's why we on this panel right now.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel
You know
great. I
what?
feel great.
I'm gonna be honest about that question because I didn't want to talk about it. Um, Karma for me, the reason why earlier, because I've always wanted to talk about it, was when you get hurt or treated wrongly, you want that energy to go back to that person that did you like that. But that's before the forgiveness comes in. You go through stages. At first, it's like you want them to suffer the way they made you suffer. Then after a while, when you start to take a step back and look at the bigger picture, it's like, you know what? I wish you healing.
I was gonna ask, why do we do that? Why do we wish that other people feel how we feel?
We want them to feel the pain that they gave us.
That's resentment and vengeance. That
Yes.
is,
Yeah,
hey,
but
I
I'm just
mean,
You can
I
call
want to
it
try to
resentment
understand
and
that though.
vengeance all you want.
mhm,
It's pain. At the end of the day, it's pain. We want you
mhm.
to feel exactly the way that you have treated us. We
Right.
want
And
you to
now go
know
a
the
step further
feeling.
with that one.
Okay, go ahead.
What's the desired result aside from because once they feel it, then what? So if they feel it, then what?
You.
There,
Gratitude, huh?
Wait,
the truth is, there's this
Yeah, you still
satisfaction,
gotta
right?
you like, yeah, that's what he get.
Yeah,
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 there's
yeah.
this,
So all right. So is it
yeah.
like
And that's
there's a
true. That's
sense
what
of
people do.
gratification?
Yeah,
mhm,
gratitude. They want
Ah,
gratitude
okay.
from you,
I want them
Yeah.
to feel the pain that they gave me, so I
Yeah.
can be in, so I
so I can
can feel
And I
celebrate. It
went
can
grateful.
be
through that. I
celebratory.
went through that, but it was like different stages. It's like the first I wanted that person to feel exactly how they made me feel.
mhm,
You know what I'm saying? Then I had to think about it. If they're gonna if we're trying to stop the cycle,
Mm.
God level. That's what's up.
I, if we're trying to stop the cycle, all I'm doing is wishing for that person to continue the cycle.
Ooh, shoot.
That's
mhm.
it. So I went through different stages, and once I came to that realization, then it was like, you know, well, I wish this person healing.
Know thyself.
Yeah,
No, I'm saying it's always on the
yeah,
door. Every time you
yeah.
step forward,
Every
it's always on the door. Everywhere. Know
so
thyself.
because that person is not going to learn anything from being hurt. They're going to get hurt by what they did, but are they really going to take time enough to sit down and look deep within them to find out why they're experiencing it and why they're treating other people the way that they do? So I wish them healing so that the cycle will stop because all we're doing is just continuing the cycle. That's it.
Okay,
Well,
The
let's
all
can we
right.
cycle
take
of pain. That's
can
it.
we take that a little further?
Go right
And I want to
ahead.
build off of what Sabada Ahmed said, and then also what Skywalker said. Not necessarily tonight, but in past dealings and conversation or building. Karma. So if let's say Sanskrit saying that action, work, or a deed,
Mm-hmm.
or it's an effect of a consequence. Um, if we are really supposed to learn a lesson that is taking place, and then we try to project our pain on the other person, we're not taking time out to acknowledge the lesson that we haven't even learned.
Mm-hmm.
We steady trying to make everything be an outside force when it's really on the inside. So the lesson that made the pain come about is because you didn't pay attention to the lesson prior to. So the pain that you're feeling is nothing more than an eye opener. To remind I'm only saying I had a car accident.
No,
I
no,
know.
but no, I am not disagreeing with you, honey. I'm there.
Yeah. So at some point we back to accountability, like how Master Skywalker breaks it all the way down. It's you can't escape accountability. Now, from Sabada Ahmed's standpoint, if you understand that we are all one consciousness,
Uh-oh.
I'm just saying, if we are all one consciousness.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, we're all one consciousness in trillion different human forms having a human experience. That means that you need to be doing everything you can to not just know thyself, heal thyself, learn all these lessons, So that way you yourself can give back to that one thought.
Mm,
I don't want to feel no pain.
mm.
And people that give out pain are walking around hurting.
Mhm.
Mm.
It starts with self.
People
Whatever
that
side
give
you want to
out
be on,
pain are
cause or
walking
effect.
around hurting.
Cause and effect.
See, this is how I know we gonna be all right. Y'all don't even realize the truth that y'all are speaking some ancient truth.
Facts.
Some ancient truth.
Of
Facts.
course,
And,
we
and
gonna be
it's
all right.
yeah, I know you're gonna be all right because
We
this
all
is,
gonna be
just the fact that our collective consciousness has brought us to this conversation. We're gonna be all right because that means once it's out on the table, then discussion happens, then there's experiment and there's transformation as a result. So yeah, we all gonna be all right. Thank y'all for doing that.
just
This has
taking through a
been
whole
an ongoing theme of mine all day long. Actually, I've been teaching this
Mm.
very lesson all day long. In fact, all month long. I've been
Mm.
teaching this very lesson, and in it, literally everything y'all are saying, these ancient texts that we actually delve in, say exactly what you're saying. If they say exactly what you're saying, well, it's alluding to what you're saying. Although we might be looking at it on the mundane level as far as pain and pleasure,
Mhm.
but on the other
Mm.
level, there is a transcendence of pain and pleasure, and an entrance into what's promised in the other world. And that's the part
Right.
again people don't want to talk about because they're thinking. But you have to understand, we are divine beings that are here. This is a magical type of universe compared to what we think it, what the way we see it. Everything ain't as cut and dry as physics says it is. Physics just prove the mundane, but
Mhm.
metaphysics go beyond the mundane. Quantum physics goes beyond the mundane. So we know that there's something else besides what our five senses can detect. So we're saying that even outside of this, there's a reason why we should cultivate a character that allows us to treat each other and be upright in the way we interact with one another. There is something else even beyond this. This is your world, the world that we train in, but the world that we actually live that in, flawlessly and consistently, is in the other world. And so we're here to do that, but y'all are. That's why this whole thing with karma exists, but also there's this opposite. I don't even know if it's too early to talk about that. Let's talk about karma some more before we bring it. Not its opposite, but a complementary aspect.
I was
We'll
just about
talk.
to say, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So we'll bring that in later because it's too early. Let's go and finish unpacking karma. Then
I
we'll bring
already
that.
know you was going.
I'll say.
Man, that's peace. That's peace. That's equality, right? Well, never mind. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, but I'd like to pose this question because you talked about, so is forgiveness enough? Is forgiveness enough to rid yourself of karma?
No.
Is that enough?
Oh no,
No,
that's it's a
no,
step. It's a
no,
step.
It's a step.
no,
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a step.
no.
Yeah.
It's a
You
it's a
might have
no.
released the emotional energy that's tied to it, but
Mhm.
that's not the same as reconciliation. And I
Okay.
know
Mhm.
we didn't get a chance to really we didn't get a chance to really dive deep into the reconciliation aspect, but reconciliation is
Mm.
tied to forgiveness, but it's not the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. All
Action.
right. Speak
Action.
on that.
Action.
Whoop,
What was the
there,
question?
yeah, and there it is. There it is. Action.
Action.
That's right.
Action is that. Yep, that's the main ingredient for reconciliation is action.
Mhm.
So
Mm-hmm.
forgiveness, it doesn't necessarily require action. It can involve some action, but for the most part, well, no. If we're being real, because there's mental activity, there's emotional activity, so there is some action, but it's a certain level of action that's
Mm-hmm.
occurring when it comes
Yeah,
down to
exactly.
forgiveness.
Yep.
But the reconciliation is about the undoing. It's about the mending, the healing. There's a restoration. There's a justice. That's the
Mhm.
reconciliation aspect. So karma
Mm-hmm.
really touches there. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
forgiveness offers us some grace. It sort of gives us permission to grow and ascend and transcend, right? But it's a step. It's like, all right, the door is open now. The reconciliation is now we're going to walk. We're going to walk differently. We are on a different course than we were before. And this is where karma comes into operation is
Watch
a
out.
situation happened, made us rethink our habits, made us rethink who we are.
Adjust.
And we said, all right, this is not servicing me, or this is not who I am. Let me change course. Let me redefine, or let me restructure who I am or who I call myself to be. And now I'm walking this way instead of this way. And this way would have led me to a certain fate.
And
now with my recourse, I'm embarking on another fate, right? So this is another aspect of karma that a lot of us get misconstrued, is that we think karma is fatalistic. Fatalistic means that it's predetermined. So it's like saying, all right, you are destined to be this because of these bad deeds. And that's, a lot of us want that, right? And it's kind of selfish. So let's just say, for example, I don't know, I don't want to say any names. So someone who steals, right? Someone who steals from somebody's house, and they keep on stealing. They done robbed within the past 5 years 212 houses. And this person is just, it just seems like they're just getting away with it, right? And something happens to them. Something happens. It could be a car crash, it could be a car accident. They get eaten alive by a snake, something like that. And some of us would say, oh, this is the supreme justice. They got what they deserve because they caused all this harm. And we feel good about that because something was finally done about this. But that's
what she was saying about wishing the pain on them that they cause on others.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I want him to feel, or I want
wish
her.
that person the same love and respect they gave to me. And if it was,
I hope somebody steals from them too, so they can know what it feels like. But the problem with that is, what are they? Are they really learning anything from that?
No.
And so I say you're repeating the cycle.
Right. So, but it's so karma is a little bit more complicated. But I just want to allude to this one ingredient right here, that most Westerners think that karma is fatalistic, and therefore that's one of the main reasons why they don't believe in it, because they think, all right, if you do these certain good deeds in life or these certain bad deeds, it leads to a predetermined end. However, karma, as much as it deals with the past, it deals a lot with the present. So what you do today shapes your destiny. What you do today. So whoever if you were a criminal for between the age 20, 29, you were a criminal, right? And then at age 32, you decide, all right, you know what? No more. I'm going to switch paths. I'm going to turn this way. You still have to answer for all of that, because all that energy that you generated from all those actions, all those situations, you generated. Right. So even though you're turning this way, you still got that baggage. You still got that past that you have to account for. Right. So this is where karma begins to perpetuate. Even though you committed all those acts in the present, you're making a decision to change course. So what does that say about your future if you're willing to do that today? After 10 years of this, after 5 years of this, it's not about, all right, I did this now, I'm doomed for the rest of my life. I did this now, I'm set for the rest of my life. It's every moment. So it's history plus present. Right.
Beautiful. We were just talking about that too. Can we are we responsible for the things we didn't know? You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you know better, you do better. So you see how we have to keep living.
Allegedly, we do better.
Well, allegedly. Well, we're supposed to. Like they say, with great knowledge comes great responsibility. Right?
Yeah, because we don't always do better when we know better. We don't.
Well, I'll tell you like this, but for sure though, when you know better and you don't do better, you definitely, the energy is way different. It's way different because now you are intentionally, that's when you become evil. That's when evil comes through you, is knowing what righteousness is and knowing what it looks like, and you intentionally go against it. That's what evil is. You see, and that itself is what's going to bring about these karmic effects. Because the thing is that as you were saying, there is we can make the decision today, but it doesn't excuse us for what we have shaped up in the past. But then it becomes redemption instead of karma. You see, then now we can make those things up. Now we actually look back and say, let me go and bring balance back to that. Let me go and bring balance back to it. So
Yeah, I was
you go
just
back
finna
and you
allude to
shape
that.
all it up.
Ooh.
So
Yeah, I
then
was just finna
at
break
that point,
down.
so if I had to give it one word to say what stops that karmic cycle, that karmic effect, then that would be transcendence. If I had to choose one word, but we can also say it's synonymous with reconditioning of the mind, with reconditioning of the heart. It becomes subconscious at that point. So that's why it's not as simple as just forgiving somebody or forgiving yourself, but you have to have a whole change of mindset. And so your character have to reflect that change of mindset
Immediately.
immediately. It could take some time,
Yeah,
but
So,
but
but
you,
but
you need to be working hard
yeah.
yeah, you absolutely do.
for real.
Absolutely.
I don't even mean to say I'm not even trying to cut you off, Sabadama.
No,
I'm
you're
just saying
good.
that how serious that is. Like,
Yeah.
you can't say I'm new, I'm better, I'm healed.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
You can't,
You
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 gotta
can't,
put
cannot.
in the work.
Right.
You
man.
have
Look
to.
here. I'm gonna go further, and like you said, redemption. Here's the thing that I know and understand. I found it out to be right and exact. When you decide to choose execute based off Skywalker, like he said, when you put all in that dirty work and you decide to
Mm-hmm.
build forward from a positive narrative, from a new thought process, the biggest thing you could do at that given moment is hold yourself accountable for all the bad work that you put in,
There
which
it is.
means, and I clearly state this because I have done it and I'm still doing it. You got to go back there and dig up some of them bones.
Mm.
You
Hmm.
got to bring back balance. You have to,
That's right. Hmm.
because
You
if
have
you,
to restore the balance.
man, you have to, because if you don't, as you move forward, it's gonna be like it's gonna be harder to level up. And this is when you're like, man, it seems so complicated. I'm going through this. Yeah, because you ain't took care of business.
Back there.
Hmm.
You still gotta go holler at some people.
Yeah.
Or,
Resistance.
I mean, whatever it is you got to take care of, you have to go. You got to handle it because it's still there.
Hmm.
It's still there. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's like what they say: energy is never destroyed. It's only transferred. It's never dissipated. Like
Hmm.
it's still sitting there.
Hmm.
Karmic debt.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
Karmic
saying?
debt.
It's still there. Cause and
Hmm.
effect. Just because quote unquote someone else want to see the consequence of that catch up with you in a negative light.
Yeah. And that's coming from a place of pain.
But I mean, I'm not even gonna say that. Let's look at it from the universal law. And I'm gonna say again, based off what Skywalker had alluded to. Look, decide, choose, execute. It's simple. When you make a decision, that's an action. When you choose, that's an action. When you execute, that's an action. Now,
Hmm.
from that action, in balance, there's a consequence. That's not negative nor positive. That's just a balance from the initial thought process or decision. That's all it is. Now,
Hmm.
to the person, it may be negative, maybe positive, but it's based off a complete action, cause and effect. That's all it is. It's just cause and effect, yin and yang. It's in balance and harmony. Like it's going to go that way. Like agreeable and disagreeable is it's just going to be that way.
Hmm.
You
So then,
can't. You can't. Go ahead.
what's our task according to what you said? Because you're talking about the truth. But if we look at it as an equation of cause and effect,
Mhm.
then what that makes what does that make our responsibility with these situations? Our responsibility is to know what the effect is, right?
Facts. There we go. Seeing the
We
big
have to
picture.
be intentional about the effect. So
Yep.
you cannot be thinking in hindsight. You can't just be moving blindly,
Nope.
through it. And then from an emotional standpoint, you can't be
Mm.
reacting. You have to learn how to respond properly, not react.
Yep.
You see? So that's going to be the difference. This is what we're talking about is self-mastery overall.
Mm.
Say that.
Saying
A
it's
self-mastered one.
self-awareness.
Master
Yeah.
Skywalker. Say that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Awareness.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But
Accountability all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
hmm
It's accountability. Like if I know if
but
I do this right now, dang, then tomorrow, then okay, then this Saturday, because that's going, and then I know so and so. Well, you know what? I might have to take not necessarily the high road, but the difficult road so I can make it easier in the long run.
Mm.
But you got to decide all that right then and there, though. That
Yeah, you have to plan. You have to say, like, when I take this step, well, this is, first of all, this is the effect that I want.
Yes.
Given whatever situation, here's the effect that I want. And then you work backwards from the effect all the way back to the cause. And then when you get to that, then you know what your next step should be. But you know what that takes. So this is where that means you have to suspend an emotional investment for that time that you're trying to work that out. The emotions got to stay still. They got to stay still. Now you're only operating in observation and also in intellect. So now you're intelligent and logically weighing this thing out and saying, okay, so here it is. And now once you figure out what the outcome is going to be, what your next step is, then you add the emotions, because the emotions is going to be the manifester or the mobilizing force of what manifests. So like I say, it's a whole metaphysical effect to it. It ain't just that. If you don't do it, how you think that people set out with the intention, I want to become a millionaire. Okay, so I'm gonna do this, and this to become a millionaire, but they don't make it a millionaire. You know what they left behind? The emotional effect of it. They left the emotion out. You see what I'm saying? If you do that and you plan yourself right, because you can do everything that you think a millionaire is supposed to do, take the right steps, but it ain't gonna have the effect if you don't produce the right emotional investment into it. That's what brings it all to fruition. You see, so it ain't just mundane steps, but you can't move forward without that emotional investment, because a lot of times the emotions take them in a whole nother direction. The emotion of self-doubt, failure, and all this worrying about what if I don't, and all this, what if my bills going, all that. Now their emotions way somewhere else, contributing to another outcome. That's why they get that outcome. You see? Hopefully that makes sense. But that's why we're talking about the ontological effect of it all.
Okay.
So yeah. So I mean, that's why I say this thing ain't just like we've been just talking about. Oh, you and karma. No, it's deeper than that.
Karma, what he did to me. Yeah, I get it.
It's deeper
I
than
get
that.
it. It's deeper than that.
Yeah, and there's dharma to even consider in this whole thing.
See,
That's
stop, John. That's what I was gonna say later.
Oh man, I'm skipping.
It's too early. It's too early.
Wait a minute.
It's too early. Yeah.
It's too early.
It's too. Yeah.
Give it a few more minutes.
All right. Yeah. We can backpedal. We can backpedal. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's a whole nother thing. But we didn't already given you the definition of it. But what you'd understand and how its relationship to karma. So now that's why I say, well, let's fully unpack karma. Let's fully unpack it. So I love the question here. Do you really understand what karma is? So this is what we've been trying to lay out, and hopefully everybody that's listening, that you've gotten some idea of exactly what it is. It's not as simple as, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. It's not as simple as that, because it's not always, the truth, and that's something that you find to be honor, and you go out looking to die by the sword, which many samurai did, right? Many samurai actually did look to die by the sword. So because they lived by it, and that was the only honorable way to die, was they wanted to die by the sword. But sometimes it's just like in reciprocity, these kind of things come hand in hand too. That what you put around, what goes around comes around, right?
I posted that video in the Snapchat. I created it last year. I didn't know if it would be appropriate to put in the group. That's why I was asking y'all thoughts.
Oh, that's right. I saw you put that in. I didn't even look at it.
And that was the title. What goes around comes around. Yeah, and yeah, I'm a firm believer that the energy that you put out will eventually find its way back to you.
Let's extend that part real quick. What you just said. So earlier I said that you're in a human experience.
Mhm. Yes.
But if you understand the human experience stem from one consciousness. So if you're trying to say what goes around, come around, regardless of what you do, you're doing it to yourself, no matter what.
There it is. Because we are one.
Because we are
and this-
one.
We are
You
one.
see what I'm saying?
And he didn't went from deacon to pastor all in 1 second. He done upgraded and promoted himself.
Wait a minute. You know, John, you gonna take that?
I'm gonna take it. That's probably my karma to take it. It's probably my karma to take it.
Oh man.
Oh, Lord.
Now I'm talking about King.
I
you
know you
Oh,
excuse that, man. Yeah, I know
yeah,
you-
what he just said. He didn't graduate from deacon to pastor.
Right.
Yeah.
He's speaking that higher stuff right there.
But that's 100% what it is, and that's it's man. When I say when you come into knowledge of self, people think it's a
Yeah.
book you pick up or
No.
somebody teach you it. No.
No.
When you truly understand who you are, where you come from, and that everything in your life, I'm talking about everything in your life, you created it. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
But see, we just like Sabadam and John Skywalker was helping me understand about the attachments, right?
Mm-hmm.
About attachments. Here's the thing. There's no need to be attached to anything, including emotions and feelings. But if you understand, again, I'm gonna say from a standpoint of saying knowledge of self, or I have knowledge of self. If I have knowledge of self, I understand that there's only one consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just living a human experience. But I come from this one consciousness. So if I understand this one consciousness, i.e. is self, right? I'm just saying. That means I need to protect this one consciousness at all costs because it reflects my human experience.
Mm-hmm.
That's important. So when you just like you said, you want them to feel that pain. Ultimately, you feeling the pain because you didn't learn the lesson.
Period.
Compassion.
Period. Because that was you having an experience with yourself.
Bars.
Period.
I know that
You-
sounds
that-
crazy, but it's real.
Yeah. Yes,
But
it
it's-
does. Yes, it
but
does.
it's- but-
get and I understand where you're coming from. Yeah.
As she grins her teeth, I get understand what you're saying. I love it. I love it.
I did, yeah. When you look at it on that level, yes. But how many people are actually there?
Facts.
How many
Dang it.
people are actually self-aware?
Facts.
Some people are just moseying on through life, doing whatever it is they want to do, regardless to how anybody else feels. They just,
Man, my
Living
camera
off
went out
impulse.
you
again.
know,
Living off impulse.
living off impulse. That's it. No
Yeah.
purpose.
But then the purpose still reflects back to self. So if I am walking in my purpose and I do come across somebody like that,
You're gonna
I have-
automatically know it.
but I'm saying they need to see that reflection amongst you though. They got to see that, oh, okay, well, maybe I might be moving wrong. See what I'm saying? God level.
Yeah.
There's another way. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another
Some-
way.
Yeah. So you're a living example of your knowledge.
Yes.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Think about it. How many times we done had a show and we get some callers and the first thing they say, God level, I love what you're speaking on. I'm glad that you're being transparent and you're sharing this and
gotta be.
sharing that.
I
But
gotta
hold on.
be.
But in the midst of you sharing that, they're able to see that in you, but then they're also able to see God level. See, when you do share these stories, you're operating in a space of love,
Yes.
which is a higher consciousness. So you're not operating in a lower vibration. So when they see it, they see the pain, they hear the pain, right? They do.
Right.
But like John said, okay, what's the conclusion? What's the destination?
Yeah.
And you're showing them that you leveled up and you broke the cycle.
To break the cycle. Yep. I don't have any tissue. And I got new makeup. Nope.
Nope.
No. I'm loving this new makeup. It's very flawless. No. Where's Brother Diamond at? Is he all right? Private chat him somebody. PC.
But I'd like to address this question right here. Because again, it alludes to how we wish karma would operate, right? Because often when we talk about it, it's more so about I want this person to get what's coming to them. Yeah. But what's interesting about that is it's not a blank slate. When we say that, we're saying something, but we're not clarifying what we really want. I hope that person gets what's coming to them. Oh yeah? What's that? Exactly. Yeah. What's that thing that you're not speaking of that you have an idea about? Their karma. Yeah, but what specifically? It sounds like you already have an idea. You already have a vision of what you want it to be. Oh, nothing. I just hope they get what's coming to them. So what if it's a good thing? You hope they get that? Oh no, I hope they get all that. So now it starts to get deep, right? So in a sense, we start to use karma as a mechanism to sort of penalize, because we're not typically saying karma in terms of the goodness. We usually use it in terms of retribution.
Yes.
Oh, you hurt me, or you hurt my kids, you hurt my family. I hope you get what's coming to you.
Yep. We've been taught that all our lives.
Right. And if we really understand karma, it does not reward, it does not punish. Karma does not reward and it does not punish. It yields its fruit, but it's not a reward and it's not a punishment. This is not how that works. So this is what happens when Westerners get a hold of a concept that they don't understand, right? We oversimplify, right? Now, I'm not saying all Westerners do this, but if you just ask the layperson, the common Westerner, hey, what's your understanding of karma? We say things like you reap what you sow. What goes around comes around. These are very, and this is put in very simplistic.
That's what I'm saying. We've been taught this. Go ahead.
All right, so it's very simplistic terms, right? But then we don't account for other influences, because some would even argue, or they would counter argue, all right, well, what about probability? And karma deals with probability, right? So let's just say, all right, there's different levels of karma, right? There's a collective karma, as in a social group. Doesn't matter if it's men, women, children, Black people, white people, Italians, whatever, right? Social groups even have a collective karma. So when we're talking about karma in terms of retributive justice, it's not how it works, because we're still dealing with probability. You could have, in terms of your emanations, how you project into the side, you could have bad thoughts, and it doesn't get broadcasted in your behaviors yet, because you could be repressing this stuff, right? But your self-talk, that's karma. How you talk to yourself, that's karma. Positive thoughts, positive thinking, negative thinking, right? That's karma. So that energy accumulates. So let's just say, for example, if you keep having negative thoughts about yourself, that's going to produce a certain fruit. And you have to take accountability for that fruit. So you see the effect. Then you have an evaluation about that effect. Oh, man, I don't like this. I like this, right? So from there, you're supposed to reverse engineer. All right, how did I get to this effect? What caused this? How did this get here? What did I do to bring this about? And it also forces us, it compels us. It compels us to take account for how we think, what we do, and how we feel as it pertains to all of our creations. So if we're not doing that, we're just blindly making things happen. life is chaotic. Where's the order? Right? And again, karma still deals with probabilities. It still deals with, just because you have a good thought doesn't necessarily mean it's going to produce good, because it's, I don't like credit karma, but I want to use this example. All right. I want to use this example. So when you look at a credit report, right?
Oh,
just
Lord.
because you paid all your credit cards on time doesn't mean you're going to have an 800 credit score.
Facts.
You could pay all your credit cards on time, doesn't mean you're going to have an 800 credit score, right?
Right.
You might have some other negative factors that's pulling your credit score down. Right.
Mhm.
So just work with me here. Just work with me here. This is the analogy for the karmic debt and the karmic relationship, right? So you might be doing all these good deeds and having all these good thoughts, but you have some negative forces that's pulling your credit score down, your karma credit score down. And so until you attend to those negative forces, it's going to be where it's at. You can't level up. You can't get to that excellent credit score because you still got, you haven't attended to these forces. And it could be forces from your 20s, things that you did. Oh man, I bought this $600 vacuum cleaner. What would you, man, look. They sold that vacuum cleaner, man. I'm telling you, I still got the vacuum cleaner in the closet.
Where is it? Where is it?
That's right.
It's still in the closet. Yeah, it's in the closet.
I had to hold on to that vacuum cleaner.
Right.
So, foolish decision, and I'm still paying for that foolish decision. I still have to live with this decision.
Impulse.
Yeah.
Right. Still
So, but what's the lesson in having to continue to live with it then? What is that about? I mean, how does that play into? Because we're talking about overall divine purpose here.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you're right. You're right on track.
Mm-hmm.
But then go a little further as to what is that cultivating in you, to have to live with it.
Attachments.
Okay, so attachments. So letting go of attachments.
Right. Yeah, letting go of attachment, but also coming back to that original thought that led you to that decision in the first place. So yeah, you're going to acquire some wisdom, but in order for you to even get to all that, you got to reflect. You got to be aware of why you're going to have to, because I mean, you got this vacuum cleaner. This vacuum cleaner, $600. John, why did you make that decision back then, right? And here I am living with it, and it's taking up space in my life. It's taking up energy in my life, right? This was very expensive and unnecessary, or at least at face value, it's unnecessary because it's still with me. So it had some value at some point in time. So yeah, there is a detachment process that has to be undertaken because I attach myself to it to begin with. So I have to dive in, evaluate, break down why I made that decision in the first place, why I had this attachment in the first place. And then I end up learning more about myself as a result of introspection and then letting that go and understanding that, okay, this was here because of this. And I learned about myself in this capacity. Now that I've transcended this, I can do these things now, right? Now, just because you've learned a few lessons doesn't mean that, okay, I'm going to learn it all now.
No.
Because maybe you oh, go ahead.
Keep going. No.
I'm listening. I'm cheering you on. Go ahead.
Yeah. So just because you learned about the vacuum cleaner, all right, cool. Yeah, you completed that lesson. But you didn't necessarily move up a grade. You just completed that lesson. So there's some humility in this process because this is all learning, right? So being humble in your learning process is going to yield the best results. So I learned about why I committed this act. I undid the act. So now this negative force that was holding my karma credit score down. All right. Now that force is gone, right? I've transmuted that energy into good energy. But there's still other negative forces from my past that are still there holding my karma credit score down, while at the same time, I'm producing good acts, good deeds, good thoughts, good energy in this other department that's going to push my credit score, my karma credit score up, right? But it's all for the sake of producing a certain type of individual. Who are you trying to become?
Ooh.
That's still what it comes down to, is who are you trying to become? Karma isn't about what's being done to you or what you are doing to life. It's about who you are. You're not going to receive that which you're not. You know, like, all right, you can't play karma. You can't say, okay, I'm going to do these things to become a millionaire. That's not necessarily how it works. You know, it's really a question about who you are as it relates to your actions, as it relates to your thoughts. We're still dealing with thoughts and actions here, which are just projections of the mind, projections of the self. So we're dealing and accounting for that. How do we navigate, maneuver all of that right there, all that material, all that energy? How are we maneuvering all that? What are we doing with this energy? That which we are. Who are we? That's what karma really alludes to.
So you were, I mean, you said everything, but you danced around one major word. I mean, you said it all.
Okay.
But I mean, you laid the equation out, and you gave it an answer, but in the long answer. But when you've let things go, when you've now done what you need to do about it and everything, what state are you in?
Freedom.
What's that? Well, freedom, but what does freedom gives you? What when we talking about an emotional state? What state are you in at that point?
Peace.
Oh. That because and this is why I say that's important, because when we cultivate through all of that, the whole entire goal is to cultivate a peaceful spirit in the whole interim of things. Because what you end up doing is you lighten your heart. You lighten your heart.
Bars.
As you cultivate that peace. And at the end of the day, that's what it all. So once you lighten your heart, when your heart becomes light about it, that's when you like the karma says, oh, there it is. He got it. He got it. There's no need to keep going with this.
Oh, yeah.
You see?
Good now.
Good now. Once you've made peace, like real altruistic peace, with it. So that's what it all boils down to, And so, did you talk about Dora? I know I had blinked out for a second.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
We didn't talk about Dora.
We didn't talk about that. But Skywalker, Master Skywalker, and Sabadama helped me help me let go of an attachment in order to have peace, to reunite myself with peace. I always say, if you can understand it, you can develop peace from it. Yeah. So even from a sacrifice, or even from a pain or a trauma event, if you can understand it, you can bring peace out of it. You really can. And that's the ultimate goal. Because at that particular point, you're not swayed negative or positive from an emotional or feeling standpoint. You understand it now. So the attachment is no longer there no more. Even the attachment of trying to inflict the pain on somebody else, so you want them to feel your pain.
No, because it's not. It's just gonna continue the cycle.
But it's not even there no more with you.
Yeah, wish them healing. That way, they have to go within and see who they truly are.
But you study saying they.
Yeah,
we all one consciousness. So they need to see the healer within you. Your mental reflection, your heart reflection. It still come back to accountability of self. Like, we can project all day long. Like, we do project, but ultimately it's from within. They have to see within you, not you. They have to see within you. Where they say beauty is only skin deep. But what you really like.
My goodness, who wrote that? Yeah.
Just saying.
I love it. That's Quan Moore. Shouts out to you, Quan.
Oh, yeah.
My goodness.
My goodness. I say.
And I'm only speaking from experience. That's why I'm able to talk about it.
No, I love y'all, man.
This is real.
This is it right here.
By the way, our audience, shout out to the audience who responded to this question.
yeah.
We had 6 votes for this question, and everybody voted yes. They believe that karma is a mechanism of justice.
You should have asked them to explain their answer.
We all grew up in church that told us you reap what you sow. That's it.
Yeah. So
That's it.
that is, you know, a reciprocal. That's what reciprocity is reaping what you sow. But when we talking about a mechanism of justice,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so we're talking about
Yeah.
justice is a whole nother
Mhm.
thing.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
it's a whole nother thing. So I wish you would have asked them to explain their
I-
answers and read some of those. That would have been nice to see if they truly understand.
Right, and that's
what
why I
that is.
posed it. That's why I
Uh-huh.
posed it, because I know
Mhm.
as a Western society, and this is why I was explaining before you know, you were or as you were you know, behind the scenes, that we tend to use karma as Westerners as a mechanism for justice, as if that's how it works. That's why you, again, hearing things like you reap what you sow. I hope this person
Yeah.
gets what they deserve.
Yeah. And I want to give an example, but I don't want to go too deep with it. Go ahead. I want to get
No, go ahead. We got room to go deep. Go ahead.
No,
Yeah,
no.
but within going deep though, sis.
I'm
we
saying as
talking about
an example of that right there. Do you believe that karma is a mechanism of justice or supreme justice? I have seen in I've heard stories of people getting the same type of abuse that they have given out, and someone would say, "That's what he gets.
Mhm.
That's what was supposed to happen to that person." So yeah, we do that.
Mm.
But what's
Because
interesting with that, right? Like really, let's touch that part. That part, what you're saying. They got what they deserve. Now what? Like after that, it just for a lot of us, it just stops there. Isn't that crazy? Like, all right, they're suffering. All right, now let's walk away. They're suffering now. Let's walk away. Let's move along. They're in a space of suffering. It's done. It's finished. Like that's it. They got back the end. That's the end of the story.
That's
right. There was no lesson learned. What did we learn?
That was pretty much how we were taught. That was pretty much
exactly. And that part right there, what she's saying.
That's how you were taught. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
There was no after, no.
Mm-mm.
We wasn't taught anything different. That's why we don't know anything different.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to look for it ourselves. We have to teach ourselves after we become self-aware that we grew up on ain't really for us.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
Well, you know what I love about this particular question, because it literally is a perfect lead in into Dharma.
Okay.
It really is a perfect lead into it. You know, because when we talk about justice also includes an observation and also a realization and action towards law, being in alignment with law, right?
Mm.
Dharma is literally about law, and it's about you serving your purpose in law. So the whole point of karma is to bring you back into alignment. So in that way, it is a mechanism of justice. In that way, but it's not saying that just because you stole from somebody somebody should steal something from
Right.
you.
Right.
Right.
It's not at that level, because there are greater things at stake.
Mm-hmm.
We talking about your soul, not just your livelihood, but we talking about your very soul is at stake if you fail to come into alignment with divine law. You see, our ancestors knew that. So today was we celebrated and we did our annual ceremony of initiation into eternity with our ancestors, those who had passed in 2022 and those who had passed, who had transitioned even before then. But we know that in the embalming process, in ancient Kemet, one of the things that they did, number one, they left the heart inside of the body. Okay. They left the heart inside of the body. They discarded the brain. But also another thing, what they did final in the mummification process is they put a scarab over the heart. Okay. They put a scarab over the heart. Now you have to understand what the scarab.
Ain't that around your neck right now? Yeah.
Well, right now I do have a scarab on this right here. I don't know. Can y'all see that?
Yeah.
You see it?
Mhm.
It's a beetle.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wearing it, close to my heart as they did for our, because what it does, the scarab represents transformation.
Renewal, transformation. Yeah.
So in order to really to go on into that next realm, there has to be a level of transformation. You couldn't even go into that realm with the body that you have because it could not handle the vibrational requirement that you need. Okay, it couldn't even handle that. So there needs to be a transformation. But in order for that vibrational requirement to happen, so we have two levels of soul. We have what we call the canon. Let me know if I'm if I'm going over if I'm doing too much. Let me know if I'm doing too much. I'll stop. But we have what we call the ka, or some people call the ka.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the lower soul or the personality. Okay, and then we have the upper soul, which is the ba or the ba, like a lot of people think. And then that's going to be, that soul has a given frequency that is so divine to where it can actually travel between the two realms right now. So your bad, which is your signature. So you're already tied to that. Now the goal in this life is to get the frequency of your ka to match with that of your bad, to create the eternal soul called the Ak. And so now you can go on into your immortal self. It creates an immortal spirit, right? So this is what that's about. So karma is all about, if you keep failing at increasing the vibration, the proper vibration of your lower soul, it gives you opportunity over and over and over again until you finally get it. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say when you don't do it, your soul is at stake. It's not just you're gonna lose your the same $1,000 that you stole from somebody else. We talking about, it's deeper than that.
Man.
It's absolutely deeper than that.
Man.
So this is how we understand. So when we talk about that transformation, so even with that, it took transformation for you to even to manifest or to incarnate as a physical being, right? You literally run from a higher being to this lower physical being. Man. We had to lower our vibration to come into take form into creation, right? We had to lower our vibration. Now the goal is, and the experiment is, can we increase our vibration so that we can have the same high vibration while still in form. Okay, so that's the whole thing. That's why I say this is about transformation of mindset. It's about taking on a new mindset. It's about reconditioning the mind, reconditioning the spirit. That's what alchemy is. It's a transmutation of the spirit. So you see how all this is connecting now? That's how all of this is connecting. And this is why, yes, that karma thing is a very serious, it's taken very serious in these, not just the Eastern cultures, but it's spoken different and under a different name in other cultures, but still talking about the same thing. Okay. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say on that. But Dharma is literally about your purpose, and it's about the law, and karma is that thing that helps you come into alignment with the law. It lets you know when you're not.
Another key word for Dharma, you guys, is duty. Your duty.
Duty and purpose.
Yeah. Yes.
Duty and purpose. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Man.
Yeah, he went there, right?
He went all the way there.
I tried to tell you this. What people
he broke about. It all the way down. If you had a problem understanding what he just said, you can find this on things people don't want to talk about. My brother's YouTube, my YouTube. Go back, rewind, and listen again. I was just talking with someone about being out of alignment. They're not in alignment with their purpose here, and they're putting the questions out there, waiting to receive an answer or to be shown. It,
Look,
yeah, baby.
look. It- Are we like okay? Just take a moment and breathe. Anybody that's watching this, paying attention to this, hear this, or you pick it up later on. Let's truly understand what's being said, because you can't run from it. You can't hide from it. You're gonna have to face you.
Come on.
Yes.
Hey.
Say it one more
I'm sorry.
time.
There's no way out of it.
I keep
gotta
these
face you.
super.
There is, and not look. That is the only way.
Yeah.
You have, and when we call that, we have a term for that called aha two. That means to fight yourself.
Ooh.
That's what that means in comedic terms. Aha two is to fight yourself.
That's the only reason why I'm laughing and smiling.
Why?
Because as much as what we think we know about the outer, we don't know nothing about ourselves. We don't know nothing about ourselves, man. We want to take on all these worldly challenges, and we don't know nothing about ourselves. Not even understanding that the more time you spend knowing you, knowing your lower frequency, while you operating in your lower frequency, you will spend less time in the world encountering lower vibrations. Because you're in tune to the lower frequency. So to get to your bar, or to raise up there to that 144, and I don't care what nobody say, when you get there, everybody around you be like, man, yo glow, yo chi, yo energy, yo like it's something different about you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because
they feel that vibe.
Yeah.
They feel it.
That's in certain people that
do you understand? You radiate, you
don't attract anymore.
But I'm listen. Even with what you're saying, God level. This how crazy this is. The one thing that you fought when you raise your consciousness from that lower level to that higher consciousness, you tend to attract the one thing you fought more. Here's why. Because now you are of service. So you be like, man, why all these people keep coming to me about their problems and their pain? They did. Hey, yo, listen, I'm trying to work on, but while you working on you, while you dealing internally, you are a living, breathing vessel of a testimony for somebody else to see that it can be done.
Absolutely.
Hey, look, you ain't gonna be. You can't run from you. Like Sabbath Ahmed said, Master Skywalker has alluded to it several times. Man, look, it goes back to one simple thing: self. You're gonna have to fight yourself. You know you like them chocolate strawberries, and you know you're borderline diabetic.
Thank you, Jackie. How you doing, girlfriend? Yes, and everything you saying, babe.
Oh, that's appreciate it, Miss Jackie. But I ain't getting none of this from books. I got this from living life.
Yeah. Ooh. I know you can't make that that level of discovery from books. This is not that kind of a course. This, you might as well consider yourself, instead of in the classroom, consider yourself to be in a laboratory. It's all experimentation. Man. You've got to get your hands dirty. Okay. You've got to get your hands dirty.
You might even have to break a few bones.
Whatever it takes, right?
Yeah. Life will teach you. Yes, it will. Who wrote that? Jackie?
My foot was pointed backwards.
Yeah,
these are facts.
life will teach you. Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
But look, here's the crazy part though. God love, check this out. That life part that we talking about, the teacher, is still you. That's what I'm saying. You're not gonna
Everything
Listen.
comes back to self.
Carbon is in everything. We are all multiple experience of one consciousness, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it again, and I'm gonna say it loud and proudly. I appreciate both of you brothers, Sabada Amen and Skywalker. Listen, to make me fold back on myself, say, damn, he right. Because it didn't take time. It didn't take long for me to redo the algorithm in my head.
Ooh, child.
One or two words within the message that was spoken from both of these brothers. Damn, they both right. Well, he was right at first, but now he right, and they okay. So now my frequency then.
Challenge.
You're getting double teamed by the twin powers over here.
I call it the hot seat.
But it was nothing more than
love. That's that love, honey.
But okay, let's take the love part.
Yeah.
It was me folding back on myself. I was checking myself through these brothers. This is what I'm saying. I reached out to me.
Did
you hear what I'm saying? That's all, man. Are you hearing it?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Are you hearing what I'm saying? And the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying, because when I sent that message, John, how quick did you call me?
Oh, yeah.
I reached out to me, man.
Yeah.
And look, for whoever watching this, the full name is Christopher Dion Newborn. The streets know me as Dion Newborn. On this podcast is King Newborn. In the world, I will be recognized as Newborn everything. But furthermore, let me say this much. I'm speaking from a place that most of y'all might not even really understand. I ain't coming down from this level. I can't. And I ain't doing it for likes or her sake. This is my personal journey, but it's a journey for everybody. Because we still all one. Like I said, when I sent that text message to my brother, for both of my brothers, they was in the group text, and I sent it to him. I said, help me. Name a time you stood in the mirror and you looked at yourself and said, help me.
Ooh, yeah.
The severity of the situation was to help me understand something about attachments, because it wasn't even about that situation. That was the attachment. The attachment started a week and a half earlier.
Come on.
But I mean, but this still all karma though. It's still all karma. But because of these brothers, I was able to make that adjustment. And I ain't doing it for the likes of them. I'm speaking real facts, man. When I be telling both of you brothers, I love you and I appreciate you, real man.
Already know.
See, that's what reciprocation looked like, because we loved you. That's why it's all here.
Yeah,
because we loved you. So exactly.
Look at my brothers. Look at my brothers. I love it.
We'll take it a little further and say, look at you.
Look at you. That's right.
We exist because of you. And that's what I'm trying to say. You can't, you're not going to be able to separate this. I don't care how we do this.
No.
You can't separate it. You can't.
Look, I wish me would.
You can't. What they say, you can't depend this. No, this is all dependent on self-dependent.
I say, it's interdependence, not independence.
There you go. There you go. My apologies.
Yeah.
Enter. Yeah. I left that out, didn't I? Yeah.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's all love for sure.
Facts.
Absolutely.
For sure.
So I want to address. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say as soon as I saw the text. When I was able to see the text, I called. I didn't get an answer, so I had to call my other brother. I called John right away. I was just
Yeah,
like,
we started
that
building. We were
morning?
yeah, we started building. We was like, okay, so
Yeah.
what? He and I started talking.
yeah, we started talking about Mercury retrograde and
Oh yeah, it's
we were
going
talking
down.
about the gravitational pull between ooh, ain't too many people you could do that with. Ain't too many people that you could do that with. But then
No.
we were also just, getting prepped to, be of service. you know?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah.
And we tried to call my brother, but he was at work. He let us know he's at work, and he was about to come on break or whatever. So we was waiting, but we finally all had a talk, and there it was. It was all good.
Was this after you and I had a conversation that morning? You was like,
It was right after.
Yeah.
It was right after.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was right after we had a conversation. Yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason that morning I was getting hit up a lot. It was you and brother, and then I had a couple of students just hitting me up. So I had a bunch of calls I had to make back to back to back to back. And I want to make sure I'd start from the warm center, get my siblings right.
Amina has a question, y'all.
Yeah, she does.
Of course.
So let's go ahead. Let's first go to the poll, and then let's address that question since we're already here. So we had 15 respondents to this question. Let's see. We had one say the karma of others. They tend to focus on the karma of others. We had 13 say that they focus on their own karma. And we had one say that it's a balance of both. They focus on their karma and the karma of others. And we got a few comments from that one. I can read them, or we can just go ahead and address.
No, let me hear because I definitely want to hear because before I have to weigh in on that, and because I might have to disappoint some folks.
Okay, so
wait a minute. Why me and my brother look up at the same time when he said that? Like what? What? Like what? I got whiplash. Hold on, he might have to what? Go read these. I need to see that.
All right. So I'm just gonna read the two. Then I'm gonna read the two. Ivy said, "My karma is the only thing that's gonna trickle down to the ones I love the most. I'm in control of it. My choice is my destiny. So why should I care about someone else's actions?" Cece said, "I focus on my own karma, but now that I have children that are growing up, I see some of their karma coming back to them."
Okay. Go ahead, sis. You were trying to say something. I'm
trying to. I got some family business, but go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, let's be clear. You cannot focus on other people's karma. It's a waste of time, space, and energy. You can never ever do anything about anybody else's karma. Only your own.
Right.
You're only here to understand your own karma and to transcend its effects. That's the only thing. And you're not even in the realm to where you can actually take on somebody else's karma or anything. Right. This is all you. In that part, you are an individual. Okay, you're an individual in that point. And I didn't say independent, but you're an individual, because even that word individual is composed of indivisible duality. That means there's something, you're part of something you cannot be divided of, but you're a single unit of a whole. So as a single unit of the whole, as King Newborn was saying, that we are all one consciousness. That's the whole that you're a part of. But as an individual, we all upload to that one consciousness by our own responses to our own individual experiences. So that is what you're here to transcend your karma, and nobody else's karma is your business, ever, ever. So that means there was only one right answer there.
Yeah. But I put that. It's kind of a trick question, but I wanted to put that out there because, again, when I hear of us as Westerners talk about karma, it's always about somebody else.
It's because nobody wants to be. They don't want to do the self-accountability thing. They want to be victimized and also justified in their own emotional condition.
Victimization. That's it. There's that word.
That victim.
Mhm.
victim. They play the victim.
No, but
Something happened to me.
when you grow up, then everything that happens, you're going to be assessing only the way you feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you get grown. You're not going
Mhm.
to worry about what everybody else done.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to say, well, why do I feel this way about this person and what they did? You're going to be still checking you. You're going to be fighting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens when you grow up. And I mean, I'm talking about from a spiritual standpoint. That's when you know you well on your way and you understand these energies. And when you understand these energies, then you can know your own karma. You know exactly what it is that you're uploading to that one consciousness. You know, but until then, you're like a child with a loaded gun, you know, spewing out emotions, causing conditions that you can't even deal with.
Ooh.
See, that's what that's like. And that's what we see mostly in the world. You know, conditions caused and the effects cannot be tolerated.
Mm.
Yeah, consequence.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, Amina, what's the best way for us to focus on our own karma? Is just do just yet. Just focus on your own karma. What energy? Pay attention to your own energy. You know, or,
Mindfulness.
yes. What are you not feeling peace in?
Mm.
Where are you lacking peace?
Yeah.
What rises? What causes a negative emotional response in you? And that's how you figure out, you know, your own. That's how you focus on your own karma. Where am I lacking peace? You know, and do your best to transcend that, to cultivate peace in those situations. And I mean a real peace. You know, I ain't talking about just forgetting about it or suppressing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about true energetic and spiritual release of it. You know, that comes from understanding and enlightenment. That's how you focus. How do you do that? You know, so that's how you focus on your own karma. So you can be done with that, at least that, because there's a whole bunch that we can actually that we need to transcend. You know, so you know, so that's always use your lifetime, use that dash that's in between your birth date and your death date. It's that dash that's important, right? So use that dash to become the best you can be.
Principles, virtues.
Not trying to tell others to become the best they can be, but you become the best you can be. Leave them to their own devices. Because at the end of the day, it's you that's got to stand at the scales, and it's your heart being weighed against the feather of truth. All right.
All right, here's another one. This one didn't get that many replies. Let me see if I can pull that up. Yeah, this one only got 2. Cece said, karma is sometimes instant and you can determine from the results if it's good or bad. But mostly karma takes a good old time and you don't realize it's karma until you sit back and think about the root of the problem, the why or how did I get here, or the seed sown, looking at your blessings. Christine says, karma, like manifest destiny, has both quickness and slowness involved. If you watch long enough, you can usually figure out what someone has coming, good or bad. All right. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate you guys, you know, chiming in on that one. How do you know when your karma or anyone else's karma is good or bad? You know, so we're really talking about the perception of the fruits of karma, right? We're looking at effects and we're making these evaluations. And I'm very careful here when it comes to this question because my evaluation could definitely be wrong, right? Of my own, right? So you got to really be clear within yourself to even evaluate your own karma, to even, you know, perceive your own karma. You have to really, first off, it requires honesty. Let's just start with that. You got to have some integrity, some honesty about yourself to really perceive your own karma. I don't see how you can evaluate your karma and it's a stained glass window that you're looking through and you're saying, oh, this is good karma right here. I got all this good karma in my life. right? But through what lens are you observing this? Is it good simply because you just want it to be good, or is it good based off of the impact it has on other people? Like, what is your evaluation process if you're on karma, right? What value judgments are you attributing to your actions, your past actions, your current actions? What value judgments are you attributing to that? You know, and are you actually dealing with the intention? Now, I'll go as far as to say that when we're evaluating karma, the key ingredient is the intention, right? Because you could produce an action and your intention wasn't necessarily in alignment with that action. So let's just say, for example, you're trying to increase your health. You're trying to increase your health, and you ate something, you digested something that wasn't health producing, right? And it was based off of ignorance. You simply didn't know, but you intended on guiding yourself towards some health producing fruit, health producing food, substance, right? But you just missed the mark, right? So the action still produces a result, even though your intention was something else. So this is you taking accountability of the intention, of the behavior, and of the lack of research, the lack of diligent research, acquiring the knowledge that's going to align, or acquiring the plan that's going to align with your intention. I have an intention to do this. All right. Are you planning? Are you envisioning? Are you meditating before you act? Are you deliberate before you act? Before you expend this energy to produce this fruit? Now, it's not to say that when we're talking about karma, nothing is really guaranteed here. We're just talking about an energy. We're talking about influence. There could be other influences that impinge on that intention. And you still got to account for that too, because this is pretty much scientific. This is practice. So just because I'm kind to somebody doesn't mean that it's going to be reciprocated. I could be kind just for the sake of, hey, that's just my goal. My goal is to be kind regardless of what the result is. Regardless of what the result is, I'm being kind for the sake of being kind. This is the choice. I'm focusing more so on the choice. And then whatever comes, I'll deal with it afterwards, because I don't know what's really going to come until it comes. Right? So I wanted to tackle, dang, I'm sorry. I was so in my zone. I didn't even see your comment. Is it necessary? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead, Saba.
that's the meaning. So I even before this comment, I was gonna wait till you finish, because we were using the words good and bad, and I was gonna say something about that. And she said, is it necessary for us to assign a subjective value of good and bad? I would say, remember that this is not good or bad. It just is. What we're dealing with is polarities, so it's just like anything, that the principle of rhythm is in full effect. So the pendulum is going to be swinging to positive and negative experiences. Those are just polar opposites of our experiences, right? We're going to feel that it's going to fluctuate all the time. So it's just is not really good or bad. So your karma is a messenger. It's telling you exactly where you stand, in the grand scheme of your total existence, So then what is it then that you need to do in order to bring about more of a balance effect? Some of this, because remember the negative is there, or we could say that feminine, actually the negative is the feminine principle. All right. And the positive is the masculine principle. So that's why you don't want too much, you didn't know that? The negative is the
negative is the feminine principle.
And this is why I want you to change your mind about what that is. Negative does not mean bad.
Hachu.
Negative does not mean bad. It's simply the feminine principle. So we call it, even on the circuit board, when we're dealing with energy, it's called the anode and the cathode.
Yep.
Right. The anode and the cathode. Literally, when you put the grounding wire or the negative wire, rather, to the feminine or negative aspect, and then you put the positive wire to the anode, guess what? The energy still flows from negative to positive. It doesn't go from positive to negative. It is so think about what that is. It is generated at the womb. The womb is created right there at the feminine. And so it goes to the hot wire, which is the positive wire, where the work, and then in between that is the load. So you have to understand, if you disconnect the positive or the negative, you don't have, your light bulb won't light up. You understand? So no matter which one you undo.
It's called L1 or L2.
Wait, is that
I don't even like that.
Is that a reference to the PlayStation?
Find another reference.
Yeah, what it is.
I'm gonna need you to find. I got one of those too, because as soon as I get done, I'm playing on it.
Nah, that's just dealing with that power source you were just speaking.
Oh,
of.
I say, okay.
The feminine is the negative, and I'm gonna have to find that. Send me literature on that, please.
Oh man,
Well,
I got all kind of stuff. You ready?
Yeah.
Just look at it.
Yeah, it's out there. Yeah. Feminine. Yeah.
But
you having a negative response to this?
Oh my God, this guy.
It's not a bad thing. And remember, hold on.
Might be.
We didn't say, see, you taking it as if I said female. I didn't say female. I didn't say woman.
Nope.
I get what you're saying.
Okay, because within all of us lies the masculine and feminine.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Within
there
all
you
of
go.
us.
The save.
Absolutely. So this is what I mean, that they're there for a reason, and it's really to get balance in both. So when we're talking about positive and negative rather than good or bad karmic responses, we want our karmic effects to be more balanced, to have a good healthy dose of both. Because just think of this: if you go all the way to only having positive experiences, right, just positive, so everything is positive, then your growth stops. You see, your growth stops. There's no impetus to keep you on your toes. There's no impetus for further growth.
Destruction.
You see, so it's not about just getting all the way into the light or all the way into the darkness. It's about having a good healthy dose of both of those.
The yin and the yang. Yeah.
Yep.
But remember, God level, you said it at the beginning of the show. Key word: understanding.
Yes. You know I'm a work in progress, baby.
Yeah, understanding brings peace.
You know I'm a work in progress, baby. I am a work in progress.
Diamond said it. Understanding brings peace. That's the only way to have equality and balance.
That's it. It's peace. Who is the center. Peace is the center. And I wanted to address one more thing. Just her last a part of her comment. She said, "Isn't karma more of an objective thing?" No, it's not. It's both. It's objective in expression, but it's subjective in acquisition. Okay, it's subject. When we acquire the karma, it's a subjective thing. That's why we were talking about earlier that this has everything to do with metaphysics. Okay, so it goes beyond that. So this goes all the way down to quantum physics, something that transcends the laws of physics. All right, so that's how deep this thing gets. But it's both of them, beloved. It's both objective and subjective. All right. So anyway, that was that. So what you got for us now, John?
All right. Last question here. Do you believe in or live by the concept of the law of karma? All right. So we had 7 respondents. Thank you all for responding. We had, hold on. Let me click on this. We had 6 say yes. 6 say that they believe in or live by the concept or the law of karma. And then we had 1 say no. Now, the no was from Josh. Respect to Josh. Josh said May 6th and May 10th of 2007 completely disproved the concept of karma for me. Seeing the worst happening to some of the best men among us over and over. If that wasn't enough, Doc Martin was gunned down when trying to help a fellow veteran who was being assaulted. Too many good people received unspeakable lots in life. Too many evil people live in total carefree carefree prosperity. There is no karma other than the karma which we make for ourselves.
Well, okay.
Mm.
I mean, he was. I think he was all over the place with that one, but okay. I see where he was going, and
Yeah,
it wasn't.
I know what
Yeah,
he was
but
saying too.
yeah.
I'm not gonna touch that.
It does, and this is what I was saying earlier. From the Western perspective, it seems unfair. This is why it was like, all
Sure.
right, we look at it as a form of justice, as in people should get what they deserve. There's a core belief. I don't know if this is cultural, maybe it's religious, but there's like this core belief that we hold that people should get what they deserve, that bad people should get bad things happening to them, and good people should get good things happening to them. And to
Right.
some degree, there's truth in that, right? That is truth, but it's also an oversimplification of how life truly is, right? Because when we're talking about what people deserve, we're projecting our values at any given time. It doesn't matter what it is. Oh man, you stole this person right here, you deserve XYZ, and we just make something up, right? And then some of it is religious, right? That whole concept of eye of an eye, right? Oh well, you hurt this person, you should get the same in return back to you, right? The golden rule, right? That's kind of like an offshoot of this, right? But I don't want to spring off too far from this, but I wanted to pose this question to see if many of us are even conscious that karma is in operation, or is this more of a selective thing that we insert into our lives? So is it continuous? Do we truly live by this concept, this law? Or is it more like, all right, I'm going to pick and choose when karma is in operation, and that's when it only operates? Like, this was really a call for the audience to really reflect on their experiences and to see, all right, how often do I really see karma in operation? Because if I see it as frequently as I should understand karma a whole lot better, and my answer should be very obvious. Otherwise, I'm doing myself a disservice by saying I believe in it, but I'm not capturing how deep my belief is, how deep my practice is, if it's really a thing in my life. So I wanted to just highlight that. Your comment, Saba?
Hold on.
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff comes from religion. If you grew up in church, we've all heard the you reap what you sow, and the eye for eye. That has been beaten into Black people. So yeah, when you say, do you live by the concept of the law of karma, everybody has some understanding of it, but not truly. They are aware of it, but no understanding.
Right.
So that would be an experience. I'm saying they are experiencing the law of karma. Because like you just said, they don't necessarily have the actual understanding.
Because all we were told was 2 quotes, 2 scriptures. That's it.
Now, I also want to highlight something in here as we're speaking about this. You may not understand gravity. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Facts. Big facts.
So I just wanted to throw that in there before I
facts.
Forward.
Well, here's the thing too, because this was an understanding of ours long before Christianity even came into the world.
Yes.
Okay, long before it came into the world. In a study of ancient civilizations, not just Kemet, but even in Sumer, Mohenjo-daro, Elam, and Kush, all of these ancient civilizations, they understood. They didn't call it karma necessarily, but what they understood was there was a collective effect, that was comparable to a collective mindset. So even they got to the point to where they knew that there was a dependence on the inundation of the Nile River. And I mean the Nile River overflowing its banks, because it brought nourishment to a land where it didn't rain. Right? It was the only way that they can actually nourish the land, so they can start to till the land, so they can grow food. So they depended on this. It happened as a like on point every year, like a season. It was came in a season of Peret, which is like their kind of like their spring, like right before the spring. But that's when the now flow. But they also understood that if they had gotten out of hand with each other,
Yeah.
and start going against the laws of divine law,
Yeah.
the now didn't do that. When it was time, when it was marked, when the Sirius star, which they call Sadet, once it came over that eastern horizon, and then it's almost like Santa Claus didn't come because you was on the naughty list, right? It's like the now didn't overflow because they knew. So this is why they had 3 intermediate periods. They had these periods where things had gotten so bad to where the land ended up splitting because everybody was in disagreement, and there was all this fighting among each other and all this other kind of stuff. And even during those times, they noticed that the now didn't always flow, and so they had to hurry up and get themselves back into order, and they called that order Ma'at. That's the order that they called it. So it was Ma'at that was going to lead them back to more of a positive and balanced karmic effect. You see, because they were too much into the negative effect. You see, so that was, and we talking about hundreds of thousands, tens to hundreds of thousands of years ago. So it was all, and this was a black civilization. So it was always, it's in our DNA to understand that. So that's why every religion borrowed from that concept, because they had to borrow from that in order to understand what morality is, what to understand their moral code, and how to initiate proper moral behavior within the society, which also brought them. So it wasn't always, so like you guys say, it always seemed like the people who were doing bad seemed to get away with it, But remember, we have to be careful as to what we deem as bad.
Yep.
Because that same thing that you see somebody doing, like let's say stealing from somebody, what you might see that and you say, oh, that's bad, that's a bad thing to do. But really, it's really what's in that person's heart, his intention, that's going to determine what aspect of karma he's going to experience from that. Because he could be in good intentions in his stealing, or what we call stealing. If he's I know it seems like that.
Oh no.
Well, I understand. But if you are one that's hungry, or if you got a child that you're trying to feed, and the only way that you don't have the resources required by society to attain food, and you have to go and maybe take it from somebody, however you can, just to feed the child, your intentions are good. It's not for the sake of thieving, but you were trying to nourish a life.
But you know, those are 2 different types of people that do that.
What I'm saying is, but it's the same act. It's the same act, right?
It's the same act, but different intentions.
It's different intentions, exactly.
They can, and the other one is doing it for.
Absolutely, that's what I'm talking about. So we have this. We have to be careful as to what we call bad. You see what I'm saying? So that's why this still makes us try to reach for understanding of what it is that we're seeing. And this is why your karma, you ain't got no business trying to deal with somebody else's karma. You don't know what they're really doing and why they're doing it. Everybody who kills somebody is not a murderer.
Ooh. What about the conditions that create them, right?
Well, it's all about, it's all about the condition. It's all about the intention. Some people kill in self-defense. That's not a murderer.
I love that principle that you just pointed out, though. That principle you just pointed out, that goes for people that's hurt too. So when somebody hurts you and you looking at them like, man, I can't wait till you, but you don't know what their true intentions was and why they did what they did in the first place.
Absolutely. Can somebody highlight Amina's comment, our last comment, so I can see what that is? All right.
Oh.
There you go. So is it far to believe that karma is about having consequences that encourages us to maintain harmony with ourselves, others, and nature? Yeah, that's what we were saying earlier.
Facts.
That's what we were saying earlier. Absolutely, beloved. Absolutely.
What's your currency like?
Feedback.
Right. Get your currency up.
Credit currency.
What's
Get
your
your
currency?
currency up, baby. What's your currency like?
What's your currency like?
Hey, for real, man.
That's
For
I
right.
real.
have to use that. Credit currency.
Absolutely. Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
We are coming up on an hour and 49 minutes.
Mhm.
Do we want to go ahead and close out? Does anybody have any last words?
I do real quick, real fast before anybody drop that knowledge. Or Jim, if you haven't already, please take the time out to visit godlevel.com. Get you a shirt, get you a hat. Support the cause.
Absolutely.
Hats. I'm sorry. I see you all promoting your business, and I don't never promote mine. I really don't.
Now you understand my text message earlier?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes, I do. Because work is last week. I wasn't getting home until like after 9:00.
It's only 24 hours in a day. If you're
I
giving
know.
16 away, if you're giving 16 of it away,
And then you sleep in 8.
if you
I'm
sleep
just, that's
8,
all of it.
I'm sleeping 8. It could be 6.
Well, no, you better be closer to 8.
I
not
know.
no 6.
I need to. John, you have anything you want to say before we
Love someone today, even if it's yourself. Salute.
Ooh.
Facts.
I love you.
bars.
I love you. I love you. Diamond, do you have anything else to say?
All I got to say,
Tonight's
finally-
show was brought to you by Saba Diamond.
oh no. Oh man, please. After King
Yes,
Newborn was
tonight's
dropping, when
show.
he was dropping.
Yeah, and then you kind of took over afterwards.
Oh yeah. When he started talking about we are one.
Oh,
King Newborn was off the chain.
man.
Off the chain.
I
tonight.
reached out to me. I was like,
Come on.
Mm.
Come on.
Ooh.
that was deep. I
Stitch that
reached out
together.
to me.
Hey,
That's right. All I have to say is aha too.
Mm.
What does that mean?
okay.
Fight yourself.
Mm.
Fight yourself.
I love it.
All right. I don't have anything new. So I kind of went back and wrote something, and I think is this will be nice and fitting for all of us. So all right. Life is like a battlefield, but when you look to your right and look to your left, you should always see a familiar face fighting alongside of you and not against you. Family. You see, we are all fighting a battle within a battle, but that should never cause us to battle each other. Family. I'm not afraid to admit that I need you and you need me and we need us. Family. They tell us in the beginning that this is a cold world to live in, but fail to mention that family is what makes it worth living. Family don't care about your religion preferences or your spiritual practices, because at the end of the day, DNA takes precedence. Family is not here to judge you or to look down upon you, but instead look you straight in the eye and give you that God-given truth. Family is the reason why we all are gathered here today, but some of our family could not be with us today. Even though they have been taken before their time in our eyes, in God's eyes, they have arrived on schedule. Family is like my Uncle Daryl used to say, blood is thicker than water. Family where lifelong relationships are developed within the womb and is welcome and surrounded by love. Family where every generation is getting better. Family where strength and respect is passed down like an iron rod of steel. Family where we respect our elders and teach our young in the way to go. Family. We can go days, weeks, months, or maybe even years without speaking, but if you call, we will run. Family, not only do we come together to mourn those who have transitioned on, we also come together to celebrate life. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, family. If you ain't got it, you ain't got nothing.
That's peace. That's peace.
We will see you all back here next
Now
week.
say.
John, you got me?
Got it.